Hello class, till here we have studied a generation of the ignition system. Now in this session we will see how the conventional battery ignition system works. Before that we must know the construction of it. So on the slide we can see there is a battery ignition system of conventional type is presented. This conventional battery ignition system are used in case of the multi-cylinder engine. As we can notice, there are multiple spark plug is located. So here total six spark plug is present in case of the presented. Okay, so this ignition system is is used in case of the six-cylinder engine. So again we can see there is a distributor is located over here. So it is not necessary in case of the two-wheeler only, in case of the four-wheeler only distributor are exist. In case of the two-wheeler also distributor may exist, or we can say in case of the two-wheeler also a multiple engine may exist. There are the engine which are having, or there are the two-wheeler which are using a multi-cylinder engine. Okay, so the it's not necessary distributor is there, it is not existing in case of the two-wheeler, or multi-cylinder engine is there, then it is not employed in case of the two-wheeler. It is there, it is there in case of the two-wheeler also, it is there in case of the four-wheeler also. So we will see the first of all the construction of the this conventional battery ignition system, in order to first of all know what are the basic tasks need to be done by a ignition system. Okay, so this is the battery, this is a voltage source we are using over here. Okay, so that's why we are calling it as a battery ignition system. This is a 12-volt battery, it having the positive terminal, it having the positive terminal, it having the negative terminal. Negative terminal of the battery is ground, negative terminal of the battery is grounded or the earth, and the positive terminal of battery is connected to the further subsystems. So this is your positive terminal. How to identify positive and negative terminal is simple. The terminal which having the small diameter is called as a positive, is can be um, called as a negative terminal, or can be identified as a negative terminal. The terminal which having a somewhat bigger diameter is it is your positive terminal, or we can identify it as a positive terminal of the battery. So your positive terminal of battery is going through this way, and it is entering into the ignition switch. This ignition switch is nothing but your keyhole, or the key switch, where you are just inserting your key and just turning it. In between them, before this wire entering into the ignition switch, there is a one kill switch are present in case of the two-wheeler. In case of the four-wheeler, there is no any kill switch are present. So here kill switch is there. In case of the two-wheeler, it is in series with your ignition switch. So whenever this kill switch is open, that time current flow through battery source is terminated to the further subsystem. So now we are making it close. Now here current is flowing through battery positive terminal and into the ignition switch. The ignition switch is further connected to the this resistor is called as a ballast resistor. The purpose of ballast resistor is just in order to prevent excessive flow of current inside the ignition coil or further subsystem. Okay, so this ballast resistor just prevents the excessive current flow. This ballast resistor prevent the excessive current flow inside the further subsystem, that is called as a ignition coil. This is your ignition coil. Okay, and this ballast resistor preventing to flow or excessive current inside this ignition coil. Now the ballast resistor, after the ballast resistor, there is one wire or further wire is entering into the ignition coil. This is a bottle shaped device or bottle shaped subsystem. Okay, inside the ignition coil there is a two wire can be noticed. One is a thick wire and is a thin wire. This is your thin wire and this is your thick wire. These both wire are wound around this blue color component, that is called as a soft iron core. This is soft iron core around which this thick and thin wire is supposed to mount. The thick wire having number of turns about or around this uh, soft iron core is about to 200 to 300, and this thin wire making the turn near about 21,000 around this blue component, that is soft iron core. Okay, and this entire shell of this ignition coil is filled with the oil in order to just cool those ignition coil. We know that whenever the current passing through the any coil or the any conductor, it's supposed to start the heat up, and whenever heat is increases, it start to reducing its a conductivity property. Okay, conductive property means it's a resistance supposed to increases. So to maintain its a resistance and to maintain its a heat, okay, we are having this entire cell filled with the oil. Okay, after that this one end of the this thickened winding are entered to the ignition coil, it making a turns around this blue component, come out from this way. Okay, this thickened winding is also called as a primary winding. Okay, after that similarly one of the end of this thin winding are connected to the thick winding, and it making a same number of some more number of turns about this soft iron core, and coming out through ignition coil from the centrally. Okay, this way it coming out. After that it entering to the distributor at the center, at the center it entering to the distributor, and the another end of the primary winding also entering into the distributor, but it is connected to the capacitor. Okay, so the capacitor are connected in series to the primary winding. Okay, and the primary winding another end is going to the positive terminal of the battery, positive terminal of battery kill switch, ignition switch. After that entering into the ignition coil, making number of turns, coming out here primary winding, entering to the distributor, making capacitor in series. After that it get again earth and grounded. Okay, so in this way circuit get completed of that primary winding. But in case of the secondary winding, it coming to here, entering to the distributor. Okay, this is a rotor present inside the distributor. At the head of the rotor it connected, rotor having one needle. Okay, needle like this. Okay, it rotating clockwise direction, this needle. Okay, and there is a number of leads coming into the distributor. Those are the 6 lead equal to the number of cylinder. Okay, those leads are arranged with respect to the firing order. Okay, so the this is a 6 cylinder engine. So firing order we can say 1, 3, 4, 2, 5, and the 6. So 1, 3, 4, 2, 5, 6. This is the firing order of this 6 cylinder engine. So in that way, uh, first cylinder lead, after the third cylinder lead, after the fourth cylinder lead, second cylinder lead, fifth cylinder lead, and the sixth cylinder lead. In that sequence, it located inside the distributor head. Now this rotor, it's supposed to touch all those lead one by one. So in that way, your secondary winding another end is connected to the rotor, and rotor supposed to rotate, rotor and needle supposed to rotate in clockwise direction in order to touch those lead coming from the cylinder spark plug one by one with respect to this firing order. Okay, now here the the spark plug, consider this cylinder, the spark plug going this way, and here it is again earth. Okay, there is a two electrode of spark plug, positive and the negative. The negative electrode is earth and the positive electrode is here. In between positive and negative electrode there is a gap we have maintained. Okay, that is spark plug gap, we call it as a spark plug gap. Now this way your secondary winding is supposed to be a connected on one end of the secondary winding is here, it's supposed to wound number of turn more than the primary winding, coming out here. Okay, entering to the distributor's center rotor cap. Okay, after that passing to the needle, needle one by one touches to the leads, through leads is entering to each cylinder one by one with respect to the firing order. Inside the spark plug there is a two electrode present, positive electrode to the positive electrode, till the positive electrode primary winding is there. After that negative electrode of the spark plug is earth. In between the negative electrode and the positive electrode there is a gap is maintained, that is called as spark plug gap. So in this way we are having the primary winding and the secondary winding both end are connected to different subsystem. Now come to the distributor. In the distributor we can see there is a one contact breaker is present over here. Okay, this contact, one end of this contact breaker is connected to the this side, another end of the contact breaker is connected to the other side, and simply we can say the contact breaker is connected parallel to the capacitor. Okay, it is connected parallel to the capacitor, and there is one mechanical link is going to the that rotor from the contact breaker. Okay, this is a push pushing system we can say, or one kind of push bar is there which making or disengaging the contact time to time. Okay, and respectively extended edges you can see at the bottom of this rotor. This extended edge is nothing but the, or it is in number of or we can say it is equal to the number of cylinder present in the cylinder in the engine. Okay, if it is a 6-cylinder engine, so 6 extended notches are present on the rotor bottom end. So whenever a respective notch comes in contact with this push bar, contact get break, because this notch breaking the contact of contact break. Like this means it is like this. I'm drawing for, try to draw for the 6-cylinder. 1 2 3 4 5 6 notches is there, and it similarly notches present here. Okay, and it breaking the contact. Whenever this notch pushing this push bar, this contact get break. Okay, so contact breaking and contact making take place of contact breaker through notch present on the rotor bottom, and in these notches are equivalent to the, or equal to the number of cylinder present in the engine. After this one big what cylinder like structure is present, is this structure is used for the advancement. As I told you in previous slide, what is the advancement and what is the need of advancement. So the for the understanding of advancement, I will share you one YouTube link. Through this link you can come to know how exactly advancement are take place. There are two type of advancement are used in case of the conventional battery ignition system. One is the vacuum advancement. This is a device for the vacuum advancement, and then this is a mechanical advancement which is not shown in this diagram, but it is there, but it is not shown. It is inside this distributor below the rotor. Okay, so this is the construction till here. Now you may ask the what, how the rotor or the distributor supposed to rotate. So we are giving power to distributor through this shaft. This shaft from the rotor is coming out through this way. Okay, and there is a one gear arrangement is made here. Okay, one gear arrangement is there. This gear arrangement, this gear is connected to the gear of camshaft. Okay, this gear is connected to the, or this gear is meshed with the gear of the camshaft. Okay, suppose this is the gear of camshaft, and it having the ratio 1:1. Suppose this is a gear of, this is a camshaft, and this is a camshaft gear. Okay, so this camshaft gear are in meshed with the gear of the distributor. This is a 1:1 ratio. Okay, means for the one revolution of the camshaft rotation, distributor also rotate the once. Or if it is also in some cases it is also connected to the crankshaft also. In that case the gear ratio will be 1:2. So for example, this, if this is a crankshaft gear, so skip this thing. Now consider this one. Now this is a crankshaft gear, so it having the 1:2 gear ratio. For the 2 revolution of the crankshaft, it's supposed to rotate once. I think there is some mistake I have made, that is the size of the crankshaft gear should be half of the crank size of the distributor gear. So then only for the 2 revolution of the crankshaft rotation, it's supposed to rotate, distributor gear is supposed to rotate one time. So crankshaft gear should be half of the size of the distributor shaft gear. Okay, there is a mistake, just consider it. In case of the camshaft, we are having 1:1 gear ratio. In case of the crankshaft, we are having 1:2 gear ratio. Okay, so this is the overall construction of the battery ignition system working. We will see in the next video. Thank you.